The gun pressed against Vivian Grant's temple should have terrified her, but after 40 years of society's small cruelties, pitying looks, invasive questions, constant reminders that her biological clock had stopped, a weapon felt almost honest. Her eyes met Go Min-gyu's in the gilded mirror. He stood behind her perfectly still, expression carved from ice. 3 days ago, she'd walked into his gallery with credentials and walls. Now those walls were rubble. "Last chance, Ms. Grant." His voice was velvet over steel. "Who sent you to spy on me?" "Nobody sent me. I'm exactly who I said I was." "Lies." He leaned closer, heat radiating from his body. "Try again." 3 days ago, Vivian didn't know men like Go Min-gyu existed. Now her life hung in the balance, caught between truth he wouldn't believe and feelings neither anticipated. But this starts earlier. At a wedding, with a woman told her best years were behind her, about to discover that sometimes the right person sees you at precisely the right time. Vivian Grant stalled in the Plaza Hotel bathroom, avoiding the bouquet toss. At 40, she'd perfected this art, not from superstition, but self-preservation. The pitying looks from married friends were unbearable. Her phone buzzed. Her mother. "The bouquet, Vivi. You never know." Vivian studied her reflection. Caramello golden skin glowing under soft light. Box braids flowing past shoulders, adorned with gold cuffs. Burgundy dress hugging 40-year earned curves. She was beautiful, objectively, successful too. Her art consultancy had authenticated pieces for the Met, MoMA, billionaire collectors worldwide. None of that mattered at family weddings. She emerged to find Aunt Sharon gripping her arm. "Get out there. You're not getting any younger, sweetheart. 40 is the new 30, but that clock is still ticking." There it was, the inevitable reminder. Vivian was herded onto the dance floor with younger single women. The bouquet sailed. She didn't try. A 26-year-old paralegal shrieked triumphantly. "You didn't even try." Sharon's disappointment was thick. "Honey, you're 40 now. If you want children..." "I should get going, early meeting tomorrow." "There's always a meeting. You focus so much on work you forgot to build a life." And now. The implication hung heavy. And now it's too late. Vivian escaped, ignoring texts about mingling. She'd learned wedding minglers didn't want successful 40-year-old women. Her Chelsea apartment welcomed her with beautiful silence. High ceilings, exposed brick, carefully curated art. A life built piece by piece, a life that felt hollow. Wine in hand, she stood at floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan's glittering skyline. Her phone chimed. Monday 9 a.m., Go Min-gyu, private collection assessment. New client, Korean businessman, significant art collection, standard job, good money. She was unaware Monday's standard job would detonate every assumption about her life being over. Across Manhattan, Go Min-gyu stood at his own window, whiskey in hand, surveying a city he controlled more than most realized. At 36, he commanded galleries, hotels, entertainment venues. On paper, reality was darker. Head of New York's most sophisticated Korean organized crime family, thrust into leadership at 28 by his father's assassination. His phone buzzed. Another woman, always another woman. Models, actresses, heiresses. Beautiful, young, interchangeable, all wanting access to wealth, power, status, none seeing him. "Boss." Park Jin-woo entered. Art consultant confirmed. Vivian Grant. Exceptional credentials. "And?" Jin-woo showed a photo. "She's 40, never married, career-focused, highly respected." Min-gyu studied the headshot. A striking black woman with intelligent eyes and a guarded smile. Something about her intrigued him. "She's qualified? The best. Good. 9 a.m. After Jin-woo left, Min-gyu stared at the photo. Eyes that looked like they'd seen through pretty lies and chosen difficult truths. He had no idea that tomorrow, a woman society dismissed as past her prime would shatter 8 years of emotional isolation. Vivian arrived at 8:55 a.m., punctual as always. The Chelsea gallery was stunning. Glass, steel, minimalist perfection. A young Korean woman greeted her. "Ms. Grant, Mr. Go is expecting you." The gallery was extraordinary. Soaring ceilings, perfect lighting, museum-quality pieces, Kusama, Lee Bull, contemporary masters. They ascended to the 3rd floor. The assistant knocked once. "Mr. Go, Ms. Vivian Grant." Vivian stepped inside and time hiccuped. The man rising wasn't what she'd expected. Online photos showed a handsome businessman. They didn't capture the presence. Perhaps 6 feet tall. Black hair perfectly styled back from a marble-carved face. Sharp jaw, high cheekbones, almost too beautiful mouth. White dress shirt with top 4 buttons undone, revealing sculpted chest and a delicate Korean script tattoo on his neck. Small, elegant characters that amplified rather than diminished his dangerous elegance. His eyes pinned her. Dark, almost black, with predatory intensity. "Miss Grant." His voice was deep, accented perfectly. "Thank you for coming." "Mr. Go." She extended her hand professionally, refusing intimidation. His hand engulfed hers, warm, strong. Contact lasting 3 seconds too long. His eyes held hers, surprise, interest. "Please, sit." As she sat, he remained standing, watching with unnerving intensity, like he was seeing layers beneath her professional exterior. "Your credentials are impressive," he said, finally settling into his chair. "The Met speaks highly of your work. I've been fortunate." He slid a portfolio across. "The Nakamura collection, 12 pieces, contemporary Korean and Japanese artists. I need authentication, provenance verification, current market valuation." She scanned documentation. Her pulse quickened. Museum-quality pieces, 8 figures total if authentic. "This requires extensive research. Some pieces need Seoul and Tokyo archive verification. The Nakamura family is meticulous, but forgeries exist. How long? 3 to 4 weeks. You'll have full resources. Money is not an object." She closed the portfolio, meeting his eyes directly. "Mr. Go, when clients say money is not an object, it usually means they're hiding something. Are these pieces legitimately acquired?" Silence. Jin-woo tensed by the door. Min-gyu's expression didn't change, but something shifted. "You're direct. I'm thorough. If I'm authenticating these, I need to know I'm not legitimizing stolen art. So I'll ask again. Are these legitimate?" A slow smile curved his lips. First genuine expression. "I like you." "That's not an answer." "Legitimate. Purchased at auction with full documentation. But you're right to be cautious." He leaned back, studying her with fascination. "Most consultants don't question me. I'm not most consultants." "No," he agreed softly, eyes traveling her face. "You're decidedly not." The air charged. Not attraction, that would be absurd, but recognition. 2 people who'd learned masks, recognizing the same skill. "When can you start?" "Tomorrow. I need workspace here. Proper lighting, magnification equipment, digital archives access." "Done. Jin-woo handles logistics." He stood. "I'll personally oversee this project. Expect to see me frequently. I work better alone." "Nevertheless." He came around the desk, stopping close. She caught his scent, cedar, and something darker. "I protect my investments carefully. And you." His eyes held hers with uncomfortable intensity. "You're an investment I find myself wanting to protect very carefully." His phone buzzed urgently, his demeanor transformed, warmth vanishing behind glacial professionalism. "Excuse me. Emergency." He switched to rapid Korean, voice dropping to dangerous tones. Jin-woo appeared. "I'll walk you out." Vivian caught one last glimpse of Min-gyu in the hallway, phone pressed to ear, every line radiating controlled fury. She shivered. Whatever Go Min-gyu was, it wasn't just art collector, and she'd just agreed to spend the next month in close proximity to him. That evening, Vivian researched deeper. Galleries, hotels, investments, all legitimate on surface. But gaps, shadows, whispers about pieces appearing and disappearing, rumors of powerful Korean family connections. It was a job, well-paying, with a client who made her hyper-aware of her own skin, but just a job. She didn't know that across town, Min-gyu told Jin-woo. Complete background on Vivian Grant, everything. "She's just the consultant. Do it." "Why?" Min-gyu stared at the city. "Because someone finally looked me in the eye without fear or greed. I need to know if that's real." Everything was about to change. Vivian arrived at 8:30 a.m. with coffee and professional armor. Jin-woo met her with a key card. "3rd floor, West Wing. Everything's ready." The workspace was perfect. Pristine white room, museum lighting, high-powered magnification equipment, state-of-the-art computer. The first 3 Nakamura pieces were already arranged. She lost herself in work. 2 hours deep into examining a Kusama piece, awareness prickled. She looked up. Go Mingyu stood in the doorway, silent, black cashmere turtleneck emphasizing broad shoulders and lean power, arms crossed, watching with that intensity. How long have you been standing there? 5 minutes. You were absorbed. Fascinating to watch. He moved closer, suddenly making the space feel smaller. You could have announced yourself. Then I'd have missed watching you work. The way you touch art like it's sacred. Small sounds when you discover something. That furrow between your eyebrows when concentrating. Her breath caught. He'd watched that closely. Find anything interesting? The Kusama is authentic. 2018 InfinityNet series. Documentation checks out. I don't actually care about technical analysis right now. She faced him. Then why are you here? I wanted to see you. Simple. Direct. When we're alone, use my name. Mingyu. That's not appropriate. Fuck appropriate. The curse was jarring, intimate. I'm tired of appropriate. And you don't strike me as someone who lives by other people's rules either. He wasn't wrong. I have work. Then let me help. Explain what you're seeing. Against better judgment, she pulled up images. Look at these net patterns. She indicated the screen, acutely aware of him leaning closer, shoulder brushing hers. Kusama's work has specific characteristics. The spacing, rhythm like a fingerprint. Forgers copy aesthetics but can't replicate genuine obsessive precision. Her psychological patterns are embedded in every brushstroke. You can't fake authentic obsession. You admire her. I admire anyone who transforms pain into beauty. He turned, face inches from hers. You understand pain. Not a question. Everyone does. Not everyone carries it with such grace. His hand almost touched her face before lowering. How old are you, Vivian? The question landed like a slap. I don't see the relevance. Indulge me. 40, she said flatly, waiting for the recalculation, the withdrawal. Instead, he simply nodded. And never married? Is there a point to this? Yes. He moved closer. I'm trying to understand how someone as accomplished, as intelligent, as striking as you is unattached. Maybe I choose to be. Maybe. Or maybe you've been told so many times you should be something you're not, that you stopped believing you could have what you want. How did he see that? Mr. Go, Mingyu. Mingyu, I'm your consultant. Professional engagement. Nothing more. Is that what you want? He was close enough she could see gold flecks in his eyes. Because I'm finding it difficult to maintain professional distance when all I think about is knowing everything about you. You're my client. I'm aware. I'm also aware I've spent 8 years surrounded by people wanting something from me. Yesterday, you demanded truth before considering work. Do you know how rare that is? His phone buzzed insistently. He ignored it. It buzzed again. You should get that, she said softly. Finally, he stepped back, checking the screen. His expression transformed, cold professionalism slamming into place. I need to handle something. Already moving, switching to Korean, voice taking that dangerous edge. He paused at the door. Have dinner with me tonight. That's not, please. Raw honesty, not command. Just dinner. No agenda beyond wanting to know you. Before she could respond, he was gone. At 4 p.m., her phone pinged. Koji. 8 p.m. Wear something that makes you feel powerful, though I suspect you always do. MG. She should decline. Instead, I'll meet you there. Send the address. I prefer arriving on my own terms. His response was immediate. Even better. I'll be counting the minutes. At 7:30 p.m., Vivian stood before her closet, second-guessing everything. Black dress, form-fitting, elegant, sophisticated, gold jewelry, her favorite heels bringing her nearly to 6 feet. Box braids swept to one side. She looked powerful, beautiful, 40 and unashamed. Koji was exclusive Tribeca Japanese. Impossible reservations, billionaire clientele. She arrived at 8:03, fashionably late. The maitre d' greeted her by name, leading through the stunning main room to private area at back. Mingyu stood as she entered, and the impact stole her breath. All black, tailored pants, silk shirt with 3 buttons undone revealing skin and tattoo. Casual elegance worth more than most rent. Hair slightly less perfect, like fingers had run through it. His eyes travelled from her face down her body and back up, appreciation naked. "You're beautiful. You said to dress powerfully. You exceeded expectations." He pulled out her chair personally. "Though I suspect you exceed expectations regularly." She noticed his positioning, seeing the door, always aware of exits, threats. Quite the setup for just dinner. "I wanted privacy, no interruptions, no audience." He settled across. "I want to actually talk to you, Vivian, not perform, not maintain masks, just talk. Should I be concerned, alone with a man I barely know?" His expression darkened. "I would never hurt you. Whatever else I might be, that's truth you can trust, absolutely. And who are you, Mingyu, really? Complicated. I promise to answer. But not tonight. Tonight, I just want to know you." A server appeared silently, pouring Chateau Margaux, over $1,000. When alone, Mingyu raised his glass. "To truth, since you value it." She touched her glass to his. "To truth." They talked, really talked, about her work, her path. She shared stories rarely told. Paris at 23, disastrous relationship with a professor wanting possession, not partnership, building reputation, piece by painful piece. Why never married? Direct. "I don't believe in wasting time, not with you." She chose honesty. Engaged once, 28. He wanted me to give up consulting. Move to Connecticut. Be the right kind of wife. I chose myself. Good. Most think I chose wrong. Let the right one get away. Most people are idiots. His voice held conviction. You built something remarkable. That takes sacrifice, courage, and loneliness. Yes, he agreed softly. They sat in shared understanding. Two people who'd chosen power over partnership. What about you? 36, running an empire, no wedding ring. My mother had endless suitable women, Korean families with proper pedigree, women understanding expectations, traditions. He leaned forward. None wanted me. They wanted the position. His hand reached across, fingers brushing hers. "You're not afraid." "Should I be?" "Probably. My life is complicated, dangerous, but I'm selfish enough to want you anyway. Mingyu, I know all the reasons this is bad. You're my consultant, I'm younger. 4 years isn't exactly nothing. But I've seen you flinch mentioning your age, expecting judgment, like you've internalized stupid societal messages about women and expiration dates." His fingers laced through hers. "Your age isn't a flaw. It's why you're extraordinary. Those 40 years built who you are, intelligence, confidence, refusal to accept bullshit. Why would I want someone less?" Her throat tightened. When had someone valued her age rather than seeing it as liability? "This is complicated." "Yes." "You're clearly involved in something beyond galleries." "Yes." "I should walk away." "You should," he agreed, eyes never leaving hers. "Will you?" She looked at him, beautiful, dangerous, surprisingly tender. Who saw her? Really saw her? "No." His smile transformed his face. "Thank God." They talked for hours, about art, philosophy, loneliness, expectations. Mingyu was brilliant, educated Seoul and London, fluent in 5 languages, but damaged. She saw it when he touched his tattoo, speaking about his father. At midnight, he didn't try to kiss her. Instead, he lifted her hand, pressing lips to her knuckles. "Tomorrow?" "I have work." "I know. But dinner again?" "I promise I'll let you work if you have dinner with me." She should say no. "Okay." His smile was devastating. "I'll cook, my place." "You cook?" "I'm full of surprises." As her cab pulled away, she looked back. He stood on the sidewalk, hands in pockets, watching her go. Something fundamental had shifted. What she didn't see was the woman across the street, photographing everything. Lee Soo-jin lowered her camera, jaw tight. She'd been promised to Go Min-gyu since childhood, and she wasn't losing him to some middle-aged American woman. Over 2 weeks, patterns emerged. Vivian worked days. Min-gyu found excuses to visit, questions spiraling into deeper conversations, dinners every few evenings, exclusive restaurants or his penthouse with Korean dishes, making her close her eyes in pleasure. They didn't sleep together, didn't even kiss beyond that hand kiss. but tension built with every touch, glance, moment their bodies occupied the same space. Vivian was falling for a man who quoted Kafka and Korean poets equally, who listened like her words contained universe secrets, who looked at her like she was the most fascinating creature in his world. But she noticed things. Jin-woo always nearby, watchful, phone calls in Korean, Min-gyu's voice transforming warm to glacial, men in expensive suits bowing with respect that looked like fear. "What do you really do?" Marshi asked one evening. His penthouse, jazz playing softly, Manhattan below like scattered jewels. He swirled whiskey, considering. "What do you think I do? Run galleries, hotels, manage investments, maybe 30% of truth." His smile was appreciative. "You're observant." "I'm 40, Min-gyu. I've learned to read people." She faced him. "What's the other 70%? He studied her. "Do you really want to know? Once I tell you, you can't unknow it." "Would I ask otherwise?" He moved to the window. "My family has been involved in certain business interests for 3 generations. When my father was killed 8 years ago, I inherited more than galleries." "Killed?" "Not died. Assassinated. By rivals who thought his death would create exploitable chaos." He turned. "They were wrong. I took control within 48 hours and made consequences very clear." "What kind of business interests?" "The kind operating in shadows, facilitating transactions the legitimate world won't handle, protecting our community when official channels fail." His eyes held hers. "I'm not a good man. I've made horrifying decisions. Hurt people threatening what's mine. I exist in grey shades most don't see." "Are you telling me you're part of organized crime?" "I'm telling you I inherited leadership of a Korean organization with significant city power. We control territories, run operations not strictly legal, but we also protect Korean businesses from predators, settle disputes police ignore." He moved closer. "We have codes, rules, lines we don't cross." "Such as?" "We don't traffic people. Drugs are absolutely forbidden. We don't prey on vulnerable or innocent. We handle business with other organizations, people understanding the game." Voice firm, certain. "I'm not asking approval, just understanding." She should be terrified. Instead, "Have you ever hurt someone who didn't deserve it?" "No, never." "The art collection legitimate?" "Completely. Galleries, hotels, investments, all legitimate businesses. I've been working years to transition operations legally." "Why tell me this?" He closed the distance, stopping close. "Because I can't keep lying, because you deserve truth, and because I'm falling for you. And you need to know what you're walking into." Her breath stopped. "Min-gyu, I know this is insane. You're my consultant. You're older." "Careful." "You're wiser," he corrected with a small smile. "More established. You have a life, reputation, career built over 20 years. You don't need me or my world. You could walk away and lose nothing except a contract." His hand found her waist. "But I would lose everything. You barely know me. I know you have a scar on your left shoulder from a bike accident at 9. I know you read 3 books weekly. I know you're terrified of spiders, but faced down a recluse in gallery storage without flinching. I know your mother calls you Vivi and it makes you feel loved and suffocated." His thumb traced her lip. "I know you've been told you're too old, too focused, that you missed your chance, and I know that's bullshit. You're not too late. You're not past your prime. You're exactly perfect." "I'm 40, she whispered. "In a few years, 45, 50, you'll wake up and realize you could have had someone younger, someone who can give you children." "Stop!" He pulled her against him, hand tangling in her braids. "Do you want to know what I see? A woman who knows exactly who she is, who's lived enough to have opinions, scars, depth, who doesn't need me to complete her, which makes me want to be worthy of her choosing me." Forehead pressed to hers. "Every young woman who's thrown herself at me has been interchangeable. Same ambitions for money, same performative interest, same emptiness. You?" His hands framed her face. "You're art that becomes more valuable with time, rare, irreplaceable. And if you can't see that, I'll spend however long proving it." She trembled, tears threatening. "This is crazy." "Yes. You're a criminal." "Yes. I should walk away." "Absolutely." His thumb wiped an escaped tear. "Will you?" She looked into his eyes, dark, intense, completely focused, This beautiful, dangerous man who saw past her age, accomplishments, armor. No, he kissed her. Finally, his mouth claimed hers with hunger, making her knees weak. She gripped his shoulders as he pulled her hard against him, hand tangling in braids, other spanning her lower back. The kiss was consuming. He tasted like whiskey and something darker, addictive. Years of loneliness poured into the connection, her 40 years overlooked, his 8 years emotionally isolated. When they broke apart, breathing hard, he pressed his forehead to hers. I need you completely sure. My world is dangerous. People will judge you. For being with me, older than me, not Korean, can you handle that? She thought of 40 years of judgment, being told she was too ambitious, independent, old, late. I've spent 40 years worried about what people think, trying to fit boxes I never agreed to. For the first time, I don't care. I want this. I want you. Something fierce flared in his eyes. Say you're mine. I'm yours. And I'm yours. No one else. Ever. He lifted her, her legs wrapping his waist as he carried her toward his bedroom. Mingyu, she gasped between kisses. Your collection... Fuck the collection. Tonight, only you matter. He laid her on his bed like priceless art, proving with hands and mouth and whispered words just how much he valued her. The intimate scene fades here, maintaining content guidelines. Hours later, Vivian woke in darkness. Mingyu's arms wrapped around her from behind, holding her like she might disappear. She'd expected regret. Instead, she felt whole. Her phone buzzed, a text from unknown. Enjoying your time with Go Mingyu? Shame when fantasies meet reality. Check your email. A friend dread coiled. She opened email. Photos made her blood cold. Mingyu in a warehouse, standing over a man on his knees. Blood on concrete. Mingyu's face emotionless as he held a gun to the man's head. Another. Bodies loaded into a van. Another. Mingyu with men from FBI most wanted lists. Final photo. Beautiful young Korean woman in hanbok. Caption, Lee Soo-jin. Promised to Go Mingyu since childhood. His future. Vivian's hands shook. She looked at the man sleeping beside her, tender lover who'd worshipped her, or cold-eyed man in photos capable of violence. And who was Lee Soo-jin? Mingyu's arms tightened reflexively, pulling her closer even in sleep. She had a choice. Walk away from the first real connection in years, or dive deeper into a world that might destroy her. But lying in his arms, feeling his heartbeat against her back, Vivian realized with terrifying clarity it was already too late. She was in love with Go Mingyu, and tomorrow everything would change. Vivian didn't sleep. Dawn broke, painting the bedroom gold. Mingyu stirred, eyes opening. When he saw she was awake, he smiled tenderly. Good morning. You're still here. I half feared I'd dreamed last night. Mingyu, we need to talk. The warmth dimmed. He sat up, alert. What happened? She handed him her phone. She watched his face as he scrolled. No shock, denial, or anger, just weary resignation. When did you receive this? 3 a.m. And you stayed? I wanted answers first. He stood, pulled on pants, poured water. When he turned back, his face was unreadable. What do you want to know? The photos real? Yes. No hedging, brutal honesty. The warehouse. That man kidnapped and assaulted a 14-year-old daughter of one of our business owners. Police weren't investigating. Wrong neighborhood, wrong victim. I found him, delivered justice, made him confess, recorded it, turned it over to the father. What happened after? He shrugged. The father handled it. She processed this. The other photos. Business associates from other organizations. Territory control requires coordination, negotiation, sometimes power displays. And Lee Soo-jin. His jaw tightened. First genuine reaction. What about her? The email says she's promised to you, your future wife. That's a lie. Which part? All of it. He sat on the bed edge, close but not touching. Soo-jin is the daughter of Lee Dae-jung, who runs a powerful Korean family in L.A. When I was 16 and she was 12, our fathers discussed a potential alliance marriage. I never agreed. Neither did she, as far as I know. But her father expects it. Her father expects many things he won't get. I've made it clear for years I won't marry for alliance. His eyes found hers. Especially not now, not when I've found you. How do I know you're telling the truth? You don't. You choose whether to trust me. He reached for her hand. I can show documentation there's no engagement. But ultimately, this comes down to whether you believe me when I say you're the only woman I want. Someone sent these deliberately, to scare me off. Su Jin, he said with certainty. She's been persistent despite rejections. Seeing me with you triggered this. I'm not competition for a 26-year-old Korean heiress, Vivian said bitterly. I'm 40, American, black, with a career and opinions. Exactly. He cupped her face. You're everything she's not. Real, accomplished, independent. You don't need me, which makes me need you more. Su Jin wants position, status, security. You challenge me, see me, want me as a man, not a title. Those photos, Mingyu, that violence, is part of who I am. I won't lie or hide it. Yes, I'm capable of violence when necessary. Yes, I've made horrifying decisions. Yes, my world is dangerous, but I would never harm you. You're the line I won't cross, the thing I protect above all else. She wanted to believe him. I need time, this is a lot. Pain flashed across his face, quickly masked. Of course, take whatever time you need. He stood, creating distance. I'll have Jinwoo drive you home. I'll finish the authentication, professionally, but the personal stuff, I need space. I understand. He was retreating behind that mask, rebuilding walls she'd barely penetrated. Mingyu? It's fine. I knew this was a risk. I'll respect your need for space. 20 minutes later, Vivian was in his car, being driven home by silent Jinwoo. She looked back once to see Mingyu at his window, watching her leave. Her heart screamed to go back. Her head insisted she was making the right choice. 3 days. Vivian threw herself into work, avoiding the gallery, communicating via email. Mingyu didn't contact her. He was respecting her request. She hated it. Her mother called. Vivi, I saw an article about eligible bachelors. Mom, I'm seeing someone. Silence. You are? Who? It's complicated. Is he younger? Her mother's voice sharpened. Vivi, be realistic. Men want families. He doesn't care about my age. He thinks I'm perfect exactly as I am. He values my experience, independence, career. He makes me feel seen for the first time in years. But his life is complicated, and I'm scared. Of course you're scared. Real love is terrifying. Vulnerability, risk, being hurt. But hiding from it because you're scared? That's just another form of dying. Vivian ended the call, her mother's words echoing. She looked around her beautiful apartment. Carefully constructed life, empty, safe, lonely. Was she giving up the first man who made her feel alive because she was afraid? Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Still think he wants you. He's at Koji right now with Lee Soo-jin. Guess you were just a midlife crisis after all. Attached photo, Mingyu and Soo-jin at a table, her hand on his arm. Vivian's heart shattered. She grabbed her coat and headed out. Koji's maitre d' recognized her. Ms. Grant, we're fully booked. I'm meeting Go Mingyu. His expression flickered. Of course, this way. Through the partially open door, she saw them. Mingyu sat rigid, expression cold. Soo-jin spoke rapidly in Korean, hand on his arm. But Mingyu deliberately removed her hand, movements sharp with rejection. Told you no repeatedly. His voice carried in English now. I'm not interested. I will never be interested. And your pathetic attempts to sabotage my relationship... Relationship? Soo-jin laughed bitterly. With that woman, she's 40, Mingyu, American. No understanding of our culture. You need someone appropriate. Young enough for heirs. Someone who understands... You understand nothing. Mingyu's voice dropped dangerously. Vivian Grant is more woman than you'll ever be. Accomplished, intelligent, independent. She doesn't need me, which makes her choosing me mean something. Unlike you, who wants nothing but my name's status. I was promised by my father, who's dead. I made no promises. Stay away from Vivian. Stop the photos, texts, manipulations. If you contact her again, I will make you regret it. You'd threaten me. For some middle-aged... Mingyu stood abruptly. I love her. I'm in love with Vivian Grant, and I don't give a fuck if she's 40 or 50 or 60. She's exactly who I need, and you? You're nothing to me. Get out of my restaurant, out of my city, or I'll make sure your father understands consequences. Sujin stood, composure cracking. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is wasting 15 minutes. I could have spent convincing Vivian I'm worth the risk. He gestured. Leave. Sujin turned and froze, seeing Vivian in the doorway. Mingyu's eyes met Vivian's. Love, longing, fear he'd lost her. Vivian. You've been here the whole time, Sujin realized. Long enough. Vivian stepped in, looking at Sujin directly. You're right about one thing. I'm 40. American. I don't understand Korean mob politics, but I understand one thing. I'm done letting fear make my decisions. She moved past Sujin to Mingyu. I love you too, and I'm sorry I let fear make me run. Mingyu's face transformed. Relief, joy, love so intense it stole her breath. He cupped her face, thumbs brushing away tears she hadn't realized were falling. You came back. I was an idiot for leaving. No, you were protecting yourself. You had every reason to doubt, but you're not second choice or midlife crisis or convenient. You're everything, Vivian. Everything. Even though I'm 40. Especially because you're 40. Those years made you who you are, and who you are is exactly who I need. He kissed her, in front of Sujin, in front of staff, public, and claiming and certain. When they broke apart, Sujin was gone. She'll cause problems, Vivian said quietly. Let her try. I'll handle it. His arms tightened. I'll handle anything as long as you stay. I'm staying, no more running. Promise? Promise. The next weeks were navigating two worlds colliding. Mingyu protected Vivian. When Lee De-jong called complaining about his daughter's humiliation, Mingyu made clear Sujin's behavior was unacceptable, and further harassment would be considered aggression. When photos appeared in Korean newspapers, with speculative commentary about age difference and cultural inappropriateness, Mingyu's statement was elegant, fuck your opinions. Vivian finished the Nakamura authentication, all 12 pieces verified, total valuation $47 million. When she delivered the report, Mingyu barely looked. I knew they were authentic. I wanted you here. You paid me $200,000 to keep me close. Best money I ever spent. He pulled her into his arms. But challenges existed. Mingyu's organization required attention, late calls, emergency meetings, days he came home with shadows no holding could dispel, and Vivian's family was complicated. You're dating a gangster, her mother hissed. Have you lost your mind? He's a businessman. Don't insult my intelligence, and he's younger. What happens when he wants children and you can't? He doesn't want children. We've discussed it. He wants me. For now. But men change. Mum, I've spent 40 years meeting everyone else's expectations. Yours, society's, every man who wanted me smaller or quieter or more convenient. For the first time, I'm choosing what I want, and I want him. Silence. Does he make you happy? Deliriously. Does he treat you well? Like I'm priceless? Then, I suppose that's what matters. But Vivi, be careful. Men like that, their worlds are dangerous. I know, Mom, but I'd rather have danger with him than safety without him. The real test came 6 weeks in. Vivian was working late when Jin Woo burst in, face tight with urgency. Miss Grant, you need to come now. What happened? Mingyu, there was an incident. He's been shot. Vivian's world tilted. What? Where? I'm taking you to him. But what you're about to see, this is his world, the real version. If you can't handle it, take me to him now. Jin Woo drove her to Brooklyn, a nondescript building revealing itself as sophisticated medical facility. Private, expensive, utterly off books. Mingyu was in a surgical suite, conscious but pale, doctor working on his shoulder while he gritted teeth. Vivian, he breathed, seeing her. You shouldn't. Shut up. She took his uninjured hand. What happened? Rival organization. Ambush during negotiation. I'm fine. You're shot. Shoulder clean through. I've had worse. He tried to smile, failed. This is what I meant about my world. Violence, danger, underground hospital visits. I know. If you want to leave, do you want me to leave? God, no, but I'd understand. Then stop talking and let the doctor work. She stayed through surgery. through stitching and bandaging, through aftercare instructions in clinical Korean. When they moved Mingyu to recovery, she stayed, holding his hand while he slept. Jin Woo found her at dawn. "Ms. Grant, you should rest." "I'm not leaving him. He might be here for days, then I'll be here for days." Jin Woo studied her. "You love him." "Yes. This won't be the last time. More violence. More danger. More nights wondering if he'll come home." "I know." "And you're staying anyway?" "I'm staying anyway." She met his eyes. "Is that a problem?" "No, Ms. Grant. That's exactly what he needs. Someone who stays." When Mingyu woke hours later, Vivian was asleep in the chair beside his bed, hand still in his. He watched her, this remarkable woman who'd seen his world at its worst and hadn't run. "Vivian," he whispered, squeezing gently. She woke immediately. "You're awake. How's the pain? Should I get the doctor?" "I'm fine. Better now that you're here." He tugged her hand. "You stayed." "Of course I stayed. You saw everything. The facility, the gunshot, the reality." "Yes. And I love you anyway. Actually, I love you more because now I understand the full cost of who you are, and I choose you anyway." Mingyu's eyes filled. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not." She smiled, brushing hair from his forehead. "But you're stuck with me. Vivian Grant, will you—" He stopped. "I was going to ask you to move in, but that's not enough. I want forever. I want you to marry me." "You're delirious from painkillers. I'm completely lucid. I've known for weeks, was waiting for the right moment." He laughed weakly. "This isn't it, but I can't wait. You're what I need. Not despite being 40, not despite being from a different world. You're what I need because of exactly who you are." Tears streamed down her face. "You're asking me in an underground hospital after being shot?" "Yes, is that a problem?" "Yes, it's insane and inappropriate and—" She laughed through tears. "And absolutely perfect for us. Is that a yes?" "That's a yes, you ridiculous man." He pulled her down for a kiss. "I promise I'm getting out. Jin Woo and I have succession plans, legitimizing everything. It'll take time. But I'm building us a future where you don't worry about underground hospitals. I'm not worried. I trust you. I love you. Even though society says you're too old for this love story, especially because of that, we're proving them wrong." The final confrontation came a week later. Lee Dae-jung flew to New York demanding a meeting. Vivian insisted on being there. They met in Mingyu's penthouse. Dae-jung was older, 60s, with cold eyes and permanent disapproval. "You dishonor my daughter." "Your daughter dishonored herself," Mingyu replied coolly. "Harassment, stalking, threats, these aren't behaviors worthy of respect. She was promised, by my father, who's dead. I made no promises, and now I'm making it clear. I'm marrying Vivian Grant. If Soo-jin interferes, I'll consider it war." Dae-jung's eyes cut to Vivian with undisguised disdain. "Her, too old for heirs. American, knows nothing of our culture. This is a phase—" "Careful." Mingyu's voice dropped lethally. "Very careful how you finish that sentence. I'm trying to save you from a mistake. The only mistake would be letting her go." Mingyu stood beside Vivian, hand finding hers. "I love her. She's exactly who I need. If you can't respect that, we're done." Dae-jung looked between them. "You'd choose her over alliance with my family?" Without hesitation. "You'll regret this." "The only thing I'd regret is being without her." Mingyu's voice gentled. "Find Soo-jin someone who actually wants her. Leave us alone." After he left, Vivian turned to Mingyu. "You just made a powerful enemy. I made the right choice, that's all that matters." He pulled her close. "You're all that matters. Even if it costs you. Especially then, because you're worth any cost." 18 months later. Vivian woke to coffee and sweet smells. Pancakes, maybe. She stretched in their shared bed. Looking around the bedroom they'd made theirs. They'd moved to a Brooklyn brownstone, neutral territory, fresh start. Walls held both their art collections, curated pieces telling their story. She found Mingyu in the kitchen, dressed in linen pants and nothing else, cooking with focus. Morning light caught the scar on his shoulder, healed but visible. "Morning, husband," she said, arms around his waist. He turned, that smile of complete happiness crossing his face. "Good morning, wife." Still said it like magic after 6 months of marriage. They'd married small, immediate family, closest friends. Her mother had cried, walked Vivian down the aisle, welcomed Mingyu with surprising warmth. "What's the occasion? Do I need one to spoil my wife?" "You spoil me every day, as you deserve." He kissed her thoroughly. "But today is special. The gallery opening is tonight. Your first solo exhibition." Vivian's stomach fluttered. After years authenticating others' art, she'd started creating her own, mixed media, exploring identity, age, beauty, cultural intersections. Mingyu had insisted on giving her a show. What if nobody comes? Everyone will come. Jinwoo had to turn people away. We're at capacity. He cupped her face. "You're brilliant. The world is about to see what I've known all along." After breakfast, preparing for the day, Vivian caught their reflection. Mingyu behind her, arms around her waist, both smiling. She looked 42 now, tiny lines around eyes deepening when she smiled, a few silver strands in braids she'd stopped dyeing because Mingyu loved them, a body showing years and miles, and she'd never felt more beautiful. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "That everyone was wrong, about me being past my prime, about it being too late." She turned in his arms. "I'm just getting started. You've always been starting. The world was just too blind to see." He kissed her forehead. "But I see you. I know, that's why I love you." That evening the gallery was packed. Critics, collectors, friends, family. Her mother approached, dabbing eyes. "Vivi, it's beautiful." "Thanks, Mum. I'm sorry. For all those years of pressure, making you feel like career success meant personal failure. You were right to choose yourself. To wait for the right person." "It's okay, Mom. No, it's not, but I'm learning. Your Mingyu loves you exactly right, the way you deserved all along." Later, when the crowd thinned, Mingyu found her by her largest piece, a self-portrait titled 40 Perfect. "Ready to go home?" "Almost. I want to stay in this moment a little longer." He stood behind her, arms around her waist, both reflected in the glossy surface. "Do you remember what you told me that first night? You said I was art that becomes more valuable with time." "I meant every word. You were right. I am more valuable now, more sure, more myself." She turned. "Everyone said I'd passed my prime, that my best years were behind me. They were idiots. They were wrong. This, right now, this is my prime. Exactly where I'm supposed to be." Mingyu's eyes shone. "You know what I love most? When we met, you believed them. Believed you were too old, too late. And now you know the truth. Which is? That you're not past your prime. You're exactly who I need. You always were." Vivian kissed him in the middle of her gallery, surrounded by art celebrating everything she was, 42, accomplished, independent, black, American, unconventional, perfectly imperfect, and loved. Absolutely, completely loved. "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me when everyone looked past me, for choosing me when society said you shouldn't, for proving it's never too late when it's the right person." "Vivian," he said softly, wiping tears, "you saved me just as much. We found each other exactly when we needed to." They left hand in hand, walking into their future, unconventional, complicated, absolutely perfect. And if anyone still whispered she was too old, well, Vivian Grant didn't give a damn anymore. She'd found her prime, and it was just beginning.